Hi everybody, I'm Alika Lifty, and today we're going to brew tropical weather on the Hario V60. We really like tropical weather on the V60 because it's going to bring out those bright tropical fruit notes, give us a lot of florality, while our grind size and water temperature with this recipe are going to allow us to maintain that high sweetness and give us a little bit of texture out of this coffee. Some things we're going to need is a Hario V60. You can use this recipe with either an O1 or an O2. Today I'm using the ceramic O2, simply because I get a little bit better heat retention from it, but you'll get really great results from either option. I'm going to need a decanter, a gram scale with timer or an additional timer. You'll need your coffee mug, a doser for your coffee, and a gooseneck kettle. We've set this variable temp kettle to 210 degrees Fahrenheit, a little bit hotter than you would normally do for a brew, but for tropical weather, being a blend of two different Ethiopian coffees and also using the V60, we like this hotter water to bring out more sweetness and body from our coffee. Our recipe today is 15 grams of coffee, ground medium fine, which for an Ethiopian coffee would traditionally be too fine. But for this recipe, we're going to still get a fairly quick drain time for this coffee. And I'm using 250 grams of water set to 210 degrees Fahrenheit. First things first, let's wet our filter. Perforated filters, even from cones, need to be folded along that perforation in order to fit into your V60. To wet our filter, I like to hold it straight and then pour starting along the edges so that our filter clings to the walls and doesn't fall down too much. Give that paper filter a good rinse, getting rid of any paper fibers and paper taste. When that's finished draining, ensure that your paper hasn't sunk too far into these ridges so that we still get a high airflow through our V60. I like to use that rinse water to preheat my coffee mug. Let's dose our coffee. Again, 15 grams, ground medium fine. And shake that brewer flat. This recipe is going to be split into 3 different pours. Our bloom, and then 2 heavy central pours agitating this brewer, giving us a quick flow rate and an even extraction out of the V60. Tare your scale, set your timer to 0, and we're ready to go. That first pour is our bloom. Start your timer, lightly pour, starting in the middle, do a few circles to saturate deep into that cone. Work your way around the edges, stopping at 50 grams. I'm going to let this bloom for 45 seconds. A longer than average bloom. For this coffee, it gives us plenty of time to degas and saturate those grounds, prepping for extraction, giving us more sweetness and acidity. At 45 seconds, I'm going to drop in heavy and do small, quarter-sized circles like I'm trying to punch a hole out the bottom of this V60 cone. This is going to give us a valley shape and a nice, quick, even extraction in the V60. Drop in the middle, heavy circular pours, raising that water level, agitating our coffee, stopping at 150. Our hottest water is raising up, and so by giving us a valley in the V60, I'm able to evenly agitate the bottom of this cone, as well as evenly extract the top, because heat rises. At 1 minute and 30 seconds, I'm going to do my final pour. Again, heavy in the middle, raising that water up, finishing at 250 grams. When you reach that point, your water should not have drained all the way through the coffee bed. If it did, then next time you brew, adjust your grind finer. If your water level is still very high at that point, you need to do one of two things: either pour heavier in those circles or grind a little bit coarser. This coffee should drain at 2 minutes and 40 seconds. If tropical weather drains far too fast, closer to 2:15 or even 2 minutes, it's going to be very tart, like unripe pineapple, a little bit salty, and it's going to have a vegetal lemongrass flavor to it. If this coffee drains far too long, closer to 3.5 minutes, then we're going to cover up those sweet tropical fruit notes with like over-steeped black tea mixed with this fruit and a little bit of a cough syrup and this unpleasant dry cacao nib finish. But if our coffee drains at 2 minutes and 40 seconds, we're going to experience this sweet tropical mango, sweet and smooth pineapple nectar, peach sweet tea, and a floral honey sweetness throughout the cup. Be sure to dump your preheat water. Serve. And enjoy.